Welcome to the Mavens Do It Better podcast. And now, your host, Heather Newman.
Hello, everyone. Here we are again for another Mavens Do It Better podcast where we interview extraordinary experts who bring a light to our world. And I could not be more excited today. I think you may be my first twofer, two people on a podcast. Very excited. I have the hosts of a wonderful podcast, the WITGirls podcast. I have both Christina Gibson and Lise Rasmussen here today, who are coming to you very late in their evening, across the pond, as it were. And so, ladies, yay, say hello, and thank you for being on.
Yay!
Hi, Heather. Hello. Thank you very much for having us.
You betcha. We've been trying to schedule this for how long? I don't even know.
Maybe like a year or something since the last ESPC conference, do you remember, in Copenhagen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Oh my! And I was like, we're not waiting till Prague. We're getting this done, for goodness sakes, right? Oh my goodness. So where are both of you right now in the world?
Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah, me too. Stockholm, in Hammarbyhöjden, which is in the city center almost.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I have been to both of those cities and love them very much. So, I think when I was in Copenhagen for the first time in 2004, I was determined to get another passport stamp. So I took the ferry over to Malmo just so I could say I'd been to Sweden.
That's actually my hometown, Malmö.
Oh, it is? Okay, awesome. Yeah, beautiful.
Cool. But
so,
we just... Yeah, I know, but you must come to Stockholm also, Heather. It's even more beautiful here, I must say.
I went to Stockholm for ESPC, goodness, but when was it? 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Four years, I think.
Yeah. So that's,
there.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was a European, for listeners, that's the ESPC is the European SharePoint conference is what we're talking about. And,
yeah, that's right.
Yes. And we've all been going to that show and love Tracy and all the folks who put that show on, so thank you. Love being a part of that. That's been great. I've had wonderful time being at the I did the first keynote for the Women in Tech lunch there back. I think that was actually in Stockholm, so the first one.
I went to that as well. Did you, Lisa?
I think so. It was quite many years ago. I'm just thinking about the former WIT lunch we had at the ESPC in Copenhagen last year that you also held there, Heather.
Yes,
Or
yeah.
you were.
Yep.
You were there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we tend to meet at the ESPCs, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, why not? I love coming to Europe at least once a year, so it makes me very happy. So
yeah, are you coming to Prague also, Heather?
I am. My hotel is booked. Yay! So, and I've never been.
Too.
Have you been to Prague before?
I've been to the city. I love it. I've been there several times. They are great at beer, chocolate, and just a beautiful city.
Oh, awesome! I know. I love that the Art Deco, or not Art Deco, Art Nouveau movement. I want to see all the Alphonse Mucha stuff. I am obsessed. So I'm excited to go check that out for sure. And I will definitely go have a beer with you, ladies. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. So
I used to be a flight attendant, so I flew to Prague, but I was too close to be holding a stopover because it was a turnaround flight for us.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So it was a tease.
So I was in. Sorry.
It was a tease.
Yeah, it was a tease. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So you two have a wonderful podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. WITGirls.
And you too.
Thank you. Ladies doing podcasts. It's awesome, right? So, will you tell me about the origin story of the podcast? And I don't know which one of you wants to go first, Christina or Lisa, but tell me how it happened.
Yeah, so I can start. I'm the guilty one in this. So it all started with actually that Christina and I met at my former work in 2017 in the springtime. Christina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She came
January actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And she came for an interview there, and I was the one holding the interviews, and it ended up with my boss leaving the room so that she and I could talk because we found each other there. So
yeah, a soulmate.
Yeah, it was really like a perfect match there. And later that year, I have always wanted to do a podcast. I've been blogging and so on, and I think it takes so much time to blog.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not dig into podcasting and try to share the information out there through a podcast. So I always wanted to do that. So I started that in, I think in the autumn in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally forced Christina to join me as my co-host.
Not really forcing, but I mean, we are very different. I mean, we are very alike, but very different, because Lise, she's so organized, and she writes all the text and everything that we are going to talk about in the episode.
Right.
And I have so much going on everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'll just bump into the show and babble.
With grace.
Yeah.
With grace, Christina.
Thanks. But we can babble together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we were just talking before we all jumped on. How many do you have out in the world now?
I looked at the list actually today, just the top countries in the last 7 days. It's insane.
Awesome.
It's like 24 different countries. It's all from Malaysia to Hong Kong to Japan to Australia to Canada to India to it's all over the world.
Wow.
And the US, of course. I'm amazed how it has spread. And it must be the same for your podcast, Heather.
Yeah. I think, well, you all live in Europe and stuff as well,
Yeah.
but to get people in Asia, that's amazing, right?
Yeah,
it is.
And
Yeah.
I think we all travel a lot, around the world and speak and have clients and all of that stuff with our technology and all of with our businesses. And so, yeah, I think it's also because of that you get a global audience, and, I think you do it too. I host people from all over the world, right, on the podcast as well, in many different industries and all of that. So yeah, I'm always blown away. I'll get a DM or somebody from somewhere that's you're just like, wow, okay, awesome. Sri Lanka.
I just got the other day on Twitter, there was a girl from Norway who said, "Oh, thank you so much for bringing up the struggles. I recognize them. I also have them, with things that we talk about, because we want to share challenges and experiences and, struggles we have in our daily work as consultants, and just share it and discuss it. And it's so much, it's very nice to hear the feedback that people recognize what we talk about. So that's really cool to hear.
Absolutely. And
True.
Can I talk about your Instagram account for a second? First of all, I love it.
What about it?
You are hilarious.
I'm nervous.
No, it's wonderful. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and so everybody, so go on Instagram, and it's WIT Girls Pod, POD, WITGirls Pod. and then they have both of their handles up there too, SharePoint Babe and how the hell do you
Bananison. I mean, it's actually the banana pouch, like the pouch you had on your belly when you're out traveling, saving the money.
Oh my god,
20 years ago. No, just kidding.
That's what it's called, a banana
kids.
Veskin? I'm saying it totally wrong. Say it again.
My kids, they call my stomach the banana pouch.
Oh wow, that's hysterical. We call those a fanny pack here, and I know
my God,
I know. And the word fanny in many languages means another body part, right? Because you both laughed.
Yes.
I know. So,
fanny pack.
Oh yeah.
Nothing you want.
Yeah, I know. Well, and the fanny pack has come back. I like your word for it much better, for goodness sakes. I mean, because I've been seeing all the advertisements because these front pouches are back, right? Because of all the rave culture and festivals and all that stuff, especially here. And so, like, you see all the advertisements of fanny pack, and anytime I'm with somebody who is not from the United States, they're all like, fanny pack, you know?
It's just extra funny.
Yeah, it's extra funny for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I love your Instagram because, like, you both are so gorgeous and happy and always smiling, and I always see a lovely beverage in front of you too. So, like, you know how to have a good time. The two of you in the mask, or no, it's not both of you, but the one with the masks too. That's hilarious. But that's not real, is it? And that's not you two. I was like, that's you and somebody else. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Christina and Christian, actually, it happened by accident. And so I took a picture of those two, and then we sent that picture to someone who wasn't in the conference just to tease them a bit, and then a filter had automatically been added, and they had like spa faces all of a sudden with a towel on their head.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. I love it. That's great. And the podcast is on all of the usual suspects, right? I think you are on SoundCloud, yeah?
Yeah.
SoundCloud,
Spotify.
Yep.
Stitcher and all those, every podcast platform you can think of.
I know, right? We got to get them on everything for sure. And you've got about 25, 27 that you have out in the world, yeah?
27 episodes, and I was like, what? Haven't we done more? We've been going on forever, but it's like we just release one episode a month.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody do subscribe. So once a month. Okay, that makes sense to me. So
we try to keep it down to 30 minutes, but it's hard.
It's hard.
I know.
We can't stop talking.
Yeah. I hear ya. You know, everybody's all like, I look over and I'm like, oh my god, we're at 45 minutes, and I still have things to say. Yeah, that's hilarious. And you know, and so the podcast is a combination of, you know, SharePoint and Office 365. That's your focus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how do you get your folks to say yes? You know, where do you get your guests from?
Oh, we hadn't had a guest in a while now. We have lovely Sandy we've had, and we had some, but it was a long time ago now. But that wasn't hard. Yeah. I mean,
people say yes,
in this
right?
Community love to talk and share. So.
Yeah, well, and for the most part, it's you two, obviously, talking about different aspects of technology. Do you kind of, for that, like, how do you choose that? It's like something that's hot and new, or something that you really love? And, you know, I know some of this, but explain it to our listeners, if you will.
I think we tried to talk about the new stuff that we see in the message center and whatever has turned up in our tenants.
Yep.
And also we talk about getting almost, 80% out of the product, and 20% is not nearly as good as it should be. So it's the struggles. It's 80/20, the struggles. Yeah, because if there is a new feature release, there's always something that we need to tweak to get it the best for the customer. But we love it. It's like having a Christmas every time we open the tenant, really. And
I love it.
Oh my god, it's only in this world.
I know.
We would look at it like that. Totally. No, but I mean, it's like you say, and I think what me and Christina often talk about is, because we work with these products daily, and we want to really discuss what have we been working on lately. Maybe someone who listens can get some input or get some feedback for us to learn something. And that's one of the feedbacks we've also gotten, is that people actually have learned things through listening to the podcast. So I think we try to mix that with a bit of a sense of humor. I mean, we joke a lot about things, but we can also criticize things honestly, our honest opinions on what works and what does not. Like Christina said, the 80/20 is always a constant struggle.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I agree with you, and I love it's always just nice to get a different perspective. You know what I mean? I think that, you know, and especially perspectives from all over the world. You know, because, you know, I guess so. You both have you both are working and you have different jobs, and you've had different jobs at different times, but for the most part you're working with clients on architecting and all of that, right? For the most part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. We are both consultants, and I think we are quite similar in our work roles as solution architects.
Yep.
Yeah, solution architects, and I'm always I'm working with governance issues and governance and stuff like that as well. And you are better at the server world, Lise.
But not. I think since. Sorry, what did you say, Heather?
I didn't.
Server admin.
Yeah. I thought Heather said something. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, I'm not. Since obviously we're in the cloud, so we don't need to focus so much on the server administration anymore. And that I like that, because now we can focus more on the product. What can we actually do with SharePoint, with all the other applications we have in Office 365, and the best part, how can we make people's days better and more like use these apps in an efficient and smart way and help their day become easier with these products. And that's something I burn for, and I love that. And also working on-prem, of course, because they all have hosting partners, right? So I'm not allowed to touch the server anyway.
Right.
So I can just focus on the good parts. It's like building stuff and
yeah, absolutely.
And I've been working, I started out with SharePoint quite late, or as a consultant, because I only been working as a consultant for about 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And before that, I was in the business, and I was doing a lot of digital transformation from paper-based processes, and I've been sitting in the demand, longing for something that would get rid of the papers and automate processes. And all of a sudden I was working with a fantastic product, which is like a smorgasbord of automating stuff, flow,
really true.
Yeah.
So I like, because I can understand the business's need, and now I can even do something about it.
Right. Yeah. No.
And I've worked with SharePoint for more than 15 years now, so I felt when the cloud came and SharePoint Online, that was very welcome, because for me it was something totally different than I've been working with before, and all the new things are constantly coming, and I love change, so change is good. So for me, this is a beautiful product to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love it too.
Yeah.
I started at Microsoft in 2001, and we were still calling it code name, and I've always been a marketer first, and technologist second, and I got to watch it change over many years, and also when we were kind of a startup, inside of Microsoft, we had a little bit more money than most startups, so I got to do all kinds of crazy things, but yeah, it's been amazing to watch the journey of the product. And I don't know, I'm sure you probably feel this too, but I think that I believe our community is just one of the strongest technology communities, or just communities in general, I've ever been involved with. Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it feels so good to contribute to something. I hope we do that at least.
Absolutely,
that's
you do.
Our goal with the podcast, at least.
I think so. I think everybody has a voice and chooses to use it in different ways, right? And I agree with you. I love to write as well, but blogging, woof. It's a lot of work, and I give it up to people who do it. There's some people out there who write the most amazing technical blogs, and I'm always like, holy cats, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, because it takes longer time to make all the screenshots, to write all the steps, and to think about, okay, you can't miss out. If you're gonna do a really good blog post, you can't miss out on information. It needs to be packed with facts, and it should also be fun to read, maybe, or something. So it's not that just points or something.
Right.
It needs to be readable.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think people do such a nice job with that, but we almost have too much information sometimes. I'm like, who do I look at? What do I read? Where do I go? I have my favorites, of course, but definitely, it's super fun. So I want to sort of go backwards a little. And, I was looking up, it's so funny, we've talked a little bit, but it feels to me like every time we see each other, we're like, hi, oh my God. And we're like, hug. And then we're like, okay, I'll see you sometime, it's so, I'm like, we're going to
quite intense, I would say. Yes.
I know, right? So we're going to sit down in Prague and actually have a face-to-face chit-chat. We're going to schedule it and everything. But
I love it.
So I was looking at your, LinkedIn's and some of your bio stuff, and I was looking at Christina, and what's the Two Fly Nordic? What is that? Are you a pilot? Because you just had, what's going on with that? Because I was just looking at the other podcasts and I was like, what's happening here? So.
Two Fly Nordic is actually one of the biggest charter companies in the world. I mean, it's TUI really. It's okay. From Germany, England, Scandinavia, all over Europe really. And it's a large company, and I started out as an airline hostess. Well, that was 1987 in Copenhagen, and then I was working as a flight attendant until 2000. And then I started to work in the office instead, and I was trying computer for the first time in my life, really. Oh, wow. And I wrote Word documents.
Oh, wow.
With Comic Sans font.
We all remember that.
And now I'm so ashamed. But then I continue onwards in the company, and I ended up at the technical department. Okay. And that's where one of my sweetheart bosses sort of thought I could do something with the computer, and he sent me to a course for Access database. So I started building databases and Excel, and I've always been into logic stuff and know how to organize files in a certain way.
Right.
Naming conventions, I always had it inside of me, so having tools and the skills like I got from the database, it was it's fantastic. I just loved it. So I built a little database for our company, keeping track on all the aircraft documents and the maintenance documents and the manuals and stuff that was all over the world, and keeping track of them. And then I continued onwards for a couple of years later. I went on to flight operations and started to implement a digital occurrence reporting system and communication in Lotus Note, and then we had SharePoint 2010, and it went on, and all of a sudden I said to myself, maybe I should go back to school. So I asked my husband, can I go back to school? And he said, yeah, why not?
Sure.
And then I found this, it was a 2-year education where we had a lot of practice as well, and the tool was SharePoint, but it was SharePoint development.
Okay.
And then I fell in love with the product, and I couldn't stop myself from wanting to work with it for it. So after the school, I went to I got a job at Göran Husman. It's his place, and then later on I went onwards to consulting business, and that's where I am now.
Wow, that's so cool. I always loved the sort of origin stories, because I was looking at yours, Lisa, and I was like, did you get started working on a help desk?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, I went from theater school when I went to high school, or what do you call it when you're like 16 to 18 or something like that?
Yeah, high school. Yep.
Yeah. And then I thought I was going to work within that. And then, I went on to working in the university world. And then someone discovered I was good at computers, just like with Christina. And I ended up in a help desk for Volvo.
Oh, wow.
For 2 years.
That's so cool.
I learned how to ping a printer and reboot it through, all sorts of, Excel formula stuffs, and they had Lotus Notes.
Fantastic.
They had Lotus Notes. I actually studied and become a Lotus Notes developer.
Wow. Oh,
I know.
Goodness.
So I ended up building their intranet on that, and then I heard about this product called SharePoint, and my boss said, you need to find out what that is, and I'm like, okie dokie. So I went to Stockholm and had a training at the Göran Husman again. His name.
Yeah.
His name is famous here in Sweden.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then I went on a training there, and since then I've not looked back. Quit. I changed religion from Notes to SharePoint.
That happens. Sometimes you convert. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, and you worked for Carlsberg. Yeah, you both have had such interesting. Yeah. That's so cool. How was that?
Oh my God. To hear my boss say, let's go to the kitchen and have beer and cookies, öl och kegel, I was like, what? It's work. Everybody just ran to the kitchen. So, yeah, we had free beer and fantastic workplace. I mean, excellent developers there at Carlsberg.
Yeah.
The SharePoint people who was there. We're quite a big team. We're like 11 people or something.
Wow.
And the fun thing is I met some of them at the ESPC now in Copenhagen, of course. They were there. I was so happy to see them.
Oh, that's so awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I've been through the Carlsberg experience. In Copenhagen. Yeah. That was super cool. And it's
nice.
My first trip there was, I think it was in 2004, and we were producing the first road show in Europe. And so we did a 5-city tour. It was London, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Madrid, and Frankfurt. So that was my first trip there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
cool.
Amazing. And Copenhagen and Stockholm are such walking cities, It's like, I love that you can just, plop yourself somewhere and just walk around and see beautiful things everywhere you look. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's true.
So, and I think...
So what time of the years were you there?
I've been in Copenhagen in April. I've been in Copenhagen in November. I've been to Copenhagen like 5 times, actually. So
it's a favorite city.
Yeah, it's a good one. So I think for me it's been actually spring and winter have been the times that I've been there, and then Stockholm was kind of fall. I guess that was fall winter. Yeah, I know. I have to get over there in the summertime at some point.
You must. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's. I was in looking at all of this stuff. I was like, I think we're similar age as far as like where we came up in the world when we're actually talking about like Lotus Notes and pinging printers and all that sort of thing. I guess sort of being all of us gals in technology. How have you seen things sort of progress or change just in technology in general, or things that you've noticed about either women in technology as well, kind of over the years? And like starting off in Sweden, were you encouraged to get into tech? It sounds like you both were at a certain point, but was, is that, I just asked you like 14 questions. Sorry, but,
it's okay.
Whoops. You can handle it. I don't know. Like just what do you think about sort of the changes that have happened since you started? And maybe, Christina, maybe you start.
Well, I think it was quite easy to get into the tech in Sweden when I started, because it was a big demand, and the companies wanted to employ girls. Yep. Really, ladies.
Yep.
And also when I was in the technical department at the airline. Being the only girl there, it was also fantastic.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I've always had like an equal, a feeling of equality.
Cool.
But of course I didn't know how much the guys were earning at the end of the day. But but everybody was treating me really, really like an equal. So I have a really good experience.
Yeah. How about you, Lisa?
Yeah.
I feel the same. You know, I started in the IT business in 1997, and I always felt that guys have felt it was so cool that a girl. I was talking to myself as a guy. That a girl. Sorry, whoopsie. That a girl came into this guy-dominated business, and I thought they really appreciated that, and I have never felt like outside or that I've been treated different, never. But it's like this with salaries. I'm still not sure that they are equal yet. Right. But I mean, Sweden, I think, has been quite far in this equal thinking quite long, and but still, of course, there are things that still aren't as good as we could wish. But I mean, I've never felt anyone looking down on me because I'm a girl. It's like the opposite. They've always encouraged, and they think it's cool that I'm interested in this. And I've been working really close with IT pros, infrastructure, and I love all that. I'm so happy to have my background with all this technical stuff, because that helps you get the bigger picture, and it's easy for you to understand how you can deliver something when you get that whole picture. So I'm very glad to have been working closely to these technical teams, and always loved it and learned so much from it. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
I feel that way too. I mean, I've had many wonderful mentors, and I have had great experiences in the tech world as well, you know, and I've always been treated very well and all of that. And the thing is, for me, the big thing is the parity on salaries and pay. You know, it's like, you can treat me nice, but I want you to pay me nice too. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And equal.
Yeah, equally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and I think a lot of the work that's being done around diversity and inclusion and gender equity and gender pay, gender equality, all of that, you know, is just lifting that conversation into a place where we're having that conversation more, which I think is great, you know, and as it should be, right? So that's a really good thing. So you two work a lot. I bet you're both smiling. And you know, you're busy, you do a podcast, you've got all kinds of things going on. What do you like to do when you're not working or podcasting, and you know, how do you stay balanced, you know?
Well, I go out. Oh my God, we do have a life also. No, but we Christina, come on. No, but I mean, I can only speak for myself, and Christina and I go out and have fun a lot of times. I love hanging with her outside of work also, so we are good friends. But I mean, I want to go out. I love culture, music. I go to a lot of concerts, and Stockholm is a fantastic city to have a life. If you want to have a life, it's full of clubs, and it's like always something concert going on. I went to the Rammstein the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, yeah, that was an amazing concert. And even if you don't like maybe listen to the music anymore, it's like a fantastic experience to go to one of these huge concerts. So that's a big interest. And we went to see the Tarantino movie the other day, Christina and I and her husband.
Nice. So
have you seen it, Heather?
I have not. No, I haven't seen it yet. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was really good.
Yeah, I need to see something.
So, you know, just hang out, and I travel a lot also. Not as much as you, Heather.
Yeah. I know.
I follow you. You went to Sydney recently, weren't you?
I did, yeah. I was at the Digital Workplace Conference for Debbie Ireland. It was lovely. I had a great time.
But how long were you there for?
I was there about a week. Also, yeah.
Isn't that a huge trip to take?
It is. It's a 15-hour flight from Los Angeles, nonstop. Luckily, yeah. So
yeah, cool.
I just, you know, I should have watched that movie on the plane, but I don't think it was out yet. So not yet. I need to watch something a little bit lighter. I've been watching a lot of documentaries lately that have been making me angry, and so I think I need something. You
need some entertainment, pure entertainment.
Yes, for sure, sure. Oh my goodness. And so Malmo, and so where were you both born? So, Lisa, you're from...
Yeah, I'm from the south of Sweden. It's really a little bit higher up than Malmö, but around there-ish. Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. Sweden. I know. Sweden's so cool, and it's like, but because people are like, oh, is it really sort of dark and all of that in the wintertime? Like, I haven't been. Yeah.
It's really dark.
I wrote, yep.
and you know, in the north, the sun never goes down. So you have to have those really, really black curtains.
Wow.
So otherwise you can't sleep.
That's wild. Wow. Yeah.
That is the wild.
Yeah.
Literally, yes. But I also want to say, I'm working on a bucket list, so I have things on my bucket list that I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I know you have that too, but I really want, because I heard your podcast where you were talking yourself. I think it was number 41 or something like that, Heather. Where you talked about the bucket list things. You did something in Los Angeles there, and I also had the same, like things I need to tick off that I want to do before we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I spend a night, in Sweden with the blackout curtains. Yeah, that's so funny.
That's totally something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what do you two have coming up? I mean, I know we talked about Prague. Are there some things that you are excited about that's coming up this fall that you're going to be doing?
Hopefully we will be podcasting in Ignite, right?
Lise at Ignite.
Right. We're people. Yeah.
Send the application and
Oh, cool.
That would be lovely. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think everybody's supposed to find out this week, right?
Oh, wow.
I think so.
Because I've never been to Ignite. I've only been to New York in US, so it would be cool to go to Ignite and to a conference in the US.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Listeners, a lot of you are familiar, but Microsoft Ignite is in Orlando, Florida. It's the first week of November. It's one of the largest technology shows that Microsoft puts on, and IT pros, technical learning, there's podcasts. We do a whole diversity in tech extravaganza, tons of keynotes, and all the different Microsoft technologies are featured there as well. So that's the show that we're talking about, and that would be super cool. I hope you get to podcast there. That would be amazing. And Orlando in November is not bad. It's nice weather, so.
Okay, cool.
I love it. I love the States.
Yeah.
I used to live in Los Angeles.
Oh, where in Los Angeles?
Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, and then Venice Beach, right next to Sidewalk Cafe.
Get out of town. Really?
On Muscle Beach, yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, I live in Marina Del Rey.
I love Marina Del Rey.
I'm in Venice all the time. The front of my building is Marina Del Rey, and the back of my building is Venice. It's so weird. But yeah, I live very. I love it. Oh, that's so fun. I know exactly where you live. Then that's so cool. That is so funny. I
started out as an au pair in Westlake Village. I was guarding kids for a guy that decorated the Olympic Games in 1984.
Get out of here. Wow.
That was a long time ago. And then I moved out and was living together with 4 other girls, cleaning houses and having just so much fun.
Yeah.
And we just...
That sounds amazing. I want to go to LA too.
I know. Well, you have to come visit me. So, that would be super fun. Yeah, I'm sure you had no fun living with 4 other gals in Los Angeles.
Oh.
Sounds like boring.
I know, it sounds terrible. Never want to do that. Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
It sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say I'm between jobs right now. I quit my former job, and it's a consultancy company. I'm joining another consultancy company in the beginning of September, so I'm quite in between jobs now. But I was so happy when I went in to see and I read information about this new company, because you always talk about diversity, Heather. and which I think is really interesting. And they have an initiative relating to diversity and equality.
Oh.
And I was really happy to see this because they have a female network that wants to like highlight wits.
Oh, cool.
Like we all are wits.
Yep.
Women in tech.
Yep.
So this is very cool. So they want to raise awareness around this. So I look forward to start on this company, and they are only like 400 people, so a bit more to grasp rather than the huge companies I've been to before. Right. So I really look forward to starting this new position.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I love hearing about that. I was the couple, was it 2 podcasts ago? Maybe one. Alcia Loach from the UK, from London. She works for HPE and was telling me all about their programs that they have, and it's just exciting to see that, you know, we all need a place to get together, you know, and talk about certain things. And I love that, you know, it's there's the women in tech stuff, you know, there's diversity and inclusion in tech, and then, you know, you're having more conversations also about wellness and mental health.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Are
big focus on that here.
Yeah. You see that obviously in Sweden, yeah?
Yeah, totally. Many people here are like, I don't know what your proper word is, but you know, when they burn out, you know, and
yeah.
And then we all seek to wellness, and it's a lot of trend right now to go like, you know, on travel with a theme, you know, so you could do a yoga trip, or you do like just a wellness trips and so on. So I think that's a big trend in Sweden currently.
Yeah, I think it's starting to be a trend all over the world. I mean, here in LA, I mean, you can't look sideways and, you know, there's a yoga studio, or, you know, somebody's drinking a green drink or getting a, you know, coffee enema, or I don't know, whatever, you know. But yeah, no, but
it's getting to be like that here also. It's actually growing.
Oh, really?
Really large here.
That's so
I'm
funny.
so hyper. I went down to Santa Teresa in I lost it, in the Central America.
Oh, okay.
Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica. Okay. I was like, I had to think for a second. I was like, she's talking about Costa Rica. Yeah.
Costa Rica, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was like living on a dirt road and with a beautiful sea, and there were yoga studios everywhere, and I took yoga, and there was this white curtains blowing in the wind and the sea, and I kept on looking at the watch. When is this done? When can I go out of the studio? And it was all set for being soft and nice and calm and yoga, and my body was all stressed.
Oh, wow.
Wanted to get out of the studio.
Wow. I know we have a hard time slowing down, you know, and turning off our brains, but it's so self-care. I know that's a word right now. It's sort of a buzzy word, but it's so important, you know, like, I'm about to go out to the desert for about 12 days myself. And it's a bit self-care. It's a bit rough though as well, but it's definitely something, I love, and I'm very excited to go back.
It sounds so exciting. Can you tell a little bit just about that, Heather?
Oh, about Burning Man? Yeah, sure.
That sounds I'm so curious about it. Yeah.
Sure. I went for like 7 years, starting in 2004, and funnily enough, my friend Denise, who I worked with on the U.S. partner team at Microsoft, was the one who got me the tickets. So the reason I go to Burning Man is from a Microsoft friend, funnily enough.
Cool.
Yeah, and I gotta say that year and the years past that, I made some of the closest, dearest friends that I have in my life. And my friend Allison, who lives in Chicago, she was like, "You stop flying over me." Because, you know, she's mad. She's like, "You keep flying over me." And so, she was like, "You're coming." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So literally, my house is a disaster right now, getting ready for it, to be honest. But Burning Man is, it's an event out in the middle of the Black Rock Desert. It's 2 hours north of Reno, Nevada. and it's a prehistoric lake bed, and a city is built out there for 1 week out of the year. People have been out there for the last, couple of 6 to 8 weeks or so, even longer, building the infrastructure. It's been going on since 1996. It started in San Francisco when founder Larry Harvey burned a wooden man on the beach, and it kind of people gathered, and burning the man can mean a lot of different things. It's I think
the man.
Yep.
The man.
And it's grown and grown, and I haven't been in a while. My last one was 2012, I believe. What's crazy, I went and watched a documentary called Spark about Burning Man, which it's on Amazon Prime. And that's the last year I went, and I'm in the film, which is hilarious.
Whoa.
For a minute, my friend and I was like, "Oh my God," and I forgot, but it's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's art, it's music, it's there's 10 principles about radical radical self-expression, and also decommodification and participating in a community, leaving no trace, taking you got to take everything in and take everything out, and it's my favorite week of the year, and I haven't been in a while, and so when we go back, it's called going home, and so I'm very, very excited to get back.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. And when some people dress up in costumes, and there's these big dance camps, you'd love it for all the clubs and the music. You both would love.
I heard about those.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I've seen many DJs way before they were, before the EDM craze went nuts. I was like, oh, that was Skrillex, or oh, that was Paul Oakenfold, or whoever, So
Skrillex.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually ended up.
Skrillex.
I watched Skrillex sitting in a camp chair with a giant sleeping bag around me because I was tired, but I wanted to hear it, and I pulled a chair out and I sat, and literally then 6 other people gathered around me in their chairs while everybody else was dancing up front. I was like, this is awesome, and they're like, yeah, we should start a fire, and I was like, we're just like,
wow,
very funny. So
you must make a lot of connections there, I guess, this thing.
Yeah, you do. It's been a while since I've been, so when I went, there was no connection out to the outside world. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no cell phones. So you're really, truly off the grid, which I love about it.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. And, people talk about work, but it's not, it is networking.
No, I didn't mean about work. I mean, friends.
Oh, yeah.
I meant, social.
Completely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I will get to see friends from all over the world when I go, and that I only maybe even see at Burning Man, or once, sort of seeing you two, we see each other, at the European SharePoint conference. And so I'm so excited to go and to do that. You two would love it. You should go sometime,
Yeah, I would totally. I love adventure also.
Yeah.
The things I don't know of, I love that.
Yeah. Are you
That's
both?
Always,
yeah.
Sorry?
Are you both PADI certified? Are you both scuba divers?
I am. No. I took it in the Indian Ocean, actually. It was really cool. And I saw a shark there, this black-tip reef shark, while we were diving. It was so amazing. I'm like, what? I can't believe how lucky I was to see that actually at the same time.
That's amazing. So, yeah.
Do you have also PADI?
I do. Yeah. I haven't been in a bit, but I learned in Maui. In Hawaii. So.
Oh, that's one of my bucket lists.
Oh, all right. Well, I know people there, so when you go, you gotta let me know.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah.
All
absolutely.
right, I will.
Cool. Oh, yay. Well, I'm gonna take us to our last question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, as you know, I always ask people, and I'm interested in to share with our listeners, what person or occurrence or something that sparked you, that led you on the path you're on today. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, love that. Lisa, I'll put you on the spot. Do you want to start?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Cool.
Well, for me, I don't think it has been a particular person. For me, it has always been my own energy, my curiosity, and also a lust for adventure and a drive. I kind of do things first and then I think after,
right.
what happened there? So I'm not afraid to put myself in a little bit difficult situations, and few things excite me more than when I have no idea what's going to happen next, actually. Like when I moved across the world to another part of the world, and that was scary, cool, and totally exciting in one.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it turned out just fine. So I can't say. And then I meet people along the way who gives me a lot of energy. Christina and all these lovely people I have around me. So they kind of give me a spark. But I think when it comes to the end of the day, it's like your own path and your own energy that makes things happen.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. Fantastic. You're a spark. How about that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You too.
Thank you. Christina, how about you?
Thank you.
What's your spark? You're welcome, hon. Yeah.
I'm a little bit like Lise. It's not just an occurrence or anybody in particular but I sort of change track every 7 years. But it's not like I told myself to do it, but I've always changed track before I get grumpy. And then and so
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it changed, and I dared to change track as well rather than to stay safe. And I think possibly it could be my energy that sort of gave me all these opportunities, and and I had met somebody like Lise, for example, when I was applying for a new job, and I said to myself, if we are getting along, I'll take the job.
Yeah.
And we were. So that's one person that I met, and also my boss, as I told you, in the technical department, who believed in me that I could do something else but pouring coffee. So
yeah, you're a spark too there. Okay. I love it that you both looked inward towards yourselves for that. That's super cool. Like we don't always do that. I mean, we all are influenced by tons of people, and we, you know what I mean. But we also like recognizing and celebrating yourself. I think is really, really cool and really important. So, thank you for that. That's really
Thank
neat.
you. And that's what you're going to do at Burning Man, isn't it? A little bit like.
Yeah. There's a famous quote by.
Sorry, I can't stop talking about this Burning Man.
that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Heather,
looking at
can you promise me?
What? Yeah.
Can you promise me to talk about this, your experience there in some podcast moving on in the Mavens Do It Better?
Yeah, I promise. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I look forward to the report.
Okay. Yes, I will write up the report for sure. No, absolutely. Cool. Yeah. No, I think we all need. Oh, I don't know, renewal, right? Where we doubt ourselves, or we get down, or something happens, or whatever, and it's like looking. I think you can look inward. You can look to other people, and look to the beautiful places like Costa Rica or whatever, right? To reignite ourselves, right? And I think it's about making choices to do that, right? Because a lot of people just don't, and they sit and I don't know. It's like, who wants to be sad and depressed all the time? I mean, I have my moments, right? We all do, but it's just God. It's life is short, right?
Yeah. I believe of the inner power and being your own goldsmith.
Oh yeah, I love that. Wow.
Yeah.
I could talk to you two for another 3 hours. So
I know. I don't want to stop talking. Actually, it was a great conversation. I'm like, I want to go. But
I know.
You are welcome to our podcast, also, Heather. So.
Oh, okay. I would love swapsies. Yes, let's do it.
Yay.
I would love that. Yeah, I know. I wish I was there so I could come meet you somewhere. But I think it's kind of late at night for that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 12 o'clock in the night here now.
We just reached the witching hour with you, too. Ha, ha, ha. So.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of perfect.
A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of trouble to be had with this trifecta of women, I think, so that's for sure. But anyway, well, cool. Well, I just want to say thank you both for us chasing each other to get this done, and and then also just for being awesome and what you bring to the world and being sparks and sharing a podcast with everybody. It's super cool, really.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been great to be on the show, and I love your podcast too. So, I mean, I subscribe to it, and you gotta do it. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you for being such a lovely ambassador for us in the community.
You bet.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you're welcome, and yay. So awesome. All right. Well, that was wonderful, Christina Gibson and Lise Rasmussen. I gave you a Lisa. Haha. From the WITGirls podcast. And so do check out the WITGirls podcast. Subscribe and follow them on their fun Instagram. And this has been another Mavens Do It Better podcast. And you can find us on all the usual suspect places, on iTunes, on Spotify, on Stitcher, and Google Play. And here is to another beautiful day on this big blue spinning sphere. Thanks, everybody. The original music on this podcast was created by Jesse Case.